Other questions? Yes.
I'm Richard Garcia. If you're forming a district, does that mean you're going to hire a committee, employees? I mean, how much money is this going to go to toward administration?
Was that zero? Oh, okay. That's a good question. How much of that? How much of this $28 goes towards administration? Paul is our community services director, and she's a hands-on person. She'd be the one working through the district, organizing all the different contracts that are used to maintain parks and the park maintenance and operations. In addition to the community services or the recreation services, she'd be organizing those also. Be very minimal, maybe 5%, 8%, something like that would be the administration portion of this $28. And we have to make sure that we have enough to keep the parks open before we have those types of general administrative costs applied to it. Like I said, it's a separate fund. We break out all the costs by cost element, so you can see how much we spend on how much we spend on landscaping versus water versus electricity bills versus each recreation program. So there's full accountability for this. No, there's not a separate committee set up to manage this or a board of directors for this district. We don't have that. That would be it would be part of the city organization, similar to other districts that we have inherited from the county. We have several CSAs for lighting and landscaping here throughout the community for the street lights that are districts with separate funds, separate accountability, and we've been administering those for about 3 years now. We inherited those from the county, and the mayor and council are the ones responsible for those levies and for the expenditures and revenues of those particular items. So we do not have to have another overhead type expense associated with that. So, other questions?
No, I don't.
Any comments? Anybody like to come up and give their perspective on parks or operations here within the city? Sure.
I voted for the last one, and it's a good thing. I'll vote for this one, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, do we know in 2 years that some judge isn't going to say that what we did is illegal and then throw it out again?
That's an issue that we had thank you. That's an issue that we had discussed during the Blue Ribbon Committee meetings, and we had about 12 meetings, a little over 27 and a half hours of discussion with that group. And that was one of the items we wanted to be very cautious of, and talking with our consultants who helped us on this process. And that's why they suggested this type of a CFD, which requires a 66.67% vote. It's a supermajority vote that's needed to get this passed. And by meeting that threshold, it's very difficult to overturn the will of the people voting for something like this at such high approval rate as that. So it should be, we don't anticipate any issues with this, but you never know. I mean, everyone can file a suit. So, but this is the highest level of approval that any community would go through to place an assessment on a property.
I'll hold it, you go talk.
Hi, I'm Ray Elliott. I live in the Song District. Several years ago, I took a Tai Chi class here, and then the parks closed. Will you have programs like that available?
Paul, would you like to address some of the thoughts that we've had about park programs and services?
Right now, everything that happens, I'm hands-on and I do. I don't do Tai Chi. I don't do yoga. I don't do much. So, once we have that, then I can hire people to come and do those type of programs. Right now, the programs that we're using, I've got a dance studio locally that is going to be doing dance classes for children, and we're actually putting together an adult dance class to do Zumba in the evenings. We've got sewing that's coming, a local company that does sewing, and they're doing sewing lessons. We'll be doing that at City Hall, and a local stables that will be doing horseback riding. And we're able to do that even without going on this, for this vote. But once we have the vote and once we have money that we can add recreation programs to, we're hoping to do all kinds of things like that. And that's where we'll go out into the community and find out what you want. Because what I might be interested in might not be what the community is interested in. So yes, we will do things like that. And I would love to use not only this park, but maybe the other parks and do things. So.
Thank you, Paul. Other questions, comments, thoughts about parks and the future of Wildemar? Mayor, Council, any factual information you'd like to share?
Factual information is what we need now, is for all of you that are here to go out and give the factual information in your neighborhood and to your friends and the people that you know here. If you have questions about it, feel free to contact City Hall, Paula, any of us. We're there to answer questions that are factual and give you the good answers. As a city council, we can't take a stand on voting yes, voting no. As individuals, we can, but it's going to be up to you guys to get out in the community and get that word out.
Can I say that?
Back to Mr. Garcia's question, Paula is the only person for parks. She has a department of one. If you say community services department, that is Paula. So that is one person. Just a little bit of, and she's actually a contract. We have 3 employees in the city of Wildemar: our city manager, our assistant city manager, Gary, and our city clerk. Everyone else is contract. We are lean and mean, and there is nowhere else we can take the about $200,000 it costs to maintain these parks. We can't take them from everywhere else. We have our Wildemar place in the back. We cannot lose an officer to keep the parks. So that's not something I would vote for. So this is up to you. The Blue Ribbon Committee has done their job. The City Council now has done their job, and we placed it on the ballot. It is now the residents' time to do your job. And whichever way you vote, please get out and vote on June 7th. If you're not registered, register, have your friends registered, and be informed. Be an informed voter. Besides the City Council, we have Wildemar Voice here. They're a website to go to. There's Wildemar Community Council. You have SWRNN. There's a brand new Lake Elsinore Wildemar patch site. The Press Enterprise, the Californian. There's so many ways you can get your information. Sign up for the city emails. Sign up through the city. You'll receive emails not just about parks, but about everything going on in the city. So be an informed voter. And please don't rely on your neighbor who got the information from their neighbor, who got it from a flyer in the parking lot at the grocery store. I mean, this is our parks. We can't stress enough, I can't stress enough, I have already spent, like I said, 7 years of my life, of my family's lives. My name is on that plaque behind Joy Lloyd's head right there. My 9-year-old son went with me door to door. He put up flyers with me. We've already spent 7 years trying to save these parks once. Now we're going through it again. Honestly, I don't know if I can do it a 3rd time. Like you said, you talked about a lawsuit. We don't know. We can't ever guarantee that the city wouldn't be sued. But it is 66 2/3 of the voters who come out on June 7th. So make sure, please, tell your friends, your neighbors, co-workers, church members, the businesses that you go to, everywhere, please get out and vote on June 7th. Thank you.
Good meeting. Question from Mr. Wood.
I'd just like to ask everybody, when the city does finish their meeting, if you could hang around for just a few minutes afterwards so we can have an open discussion on the Pro Park side.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Looks good? All right. Any other questions? Then we'll go ahead and close. Oh, sure, go ahead.
I know this issue we're voting on June 6th is less than $3 a month.
7.
Correct.
The people that are against it, what are the reasons? Even grandparents have kids. What's the big thing that people are saying that why they don't want to spend $28 for a whole year? I don't understand it. I thought you might enlighten me with what they are so I can express those to the people in my street and in my city there too. Let them know what we're fighting against it. It's ridiculous. Thank you.
I'll answer that.
Good question. That would probably be a question that we better answered. Factually, I don't have any input on that.
I'll answer that question because we're threatened with lawsuits all the time on this issue.
Yeah, why?
Because they want to bankrupt the city. End of story. They deny it. They say they're for parks, and 2 days later they're not. Malicious.
Yeah,
It's malicious. It's all malicious.
Okay. Well, thank you all for coming out this morning. As I mentioned, this includes our portion of the usage of the stage and this meeting. So any questions that you may have of us, feel free to give myself or Mayor and Council a call. Every council meeting is a great opportunity to come forward during the public comments portion of the meeting, or to talk about the parks measures. And look forward to seeing you then. Thanks. Bye-bye.
And they should be thankful I didn't mention their names. Because they're just trying to bankrupt the city. Nobody will step up and say anything. Bull crap. I get pissed off about this.